State Department closed the embassy in Kiev 3 weeks ago and told Americans to leave the country because they wouldn't be able to help once war broke out.
But there are still thousands of U.S. citizens in Ukraine, and WGN's Mike Lowe is joining us now with the story of a man working to shuttle people to safety. Mike?
Randina, good evening to both of you. Today, the UN reports that more than 1 million people have fled the war-torn country. Tonight, we're hearing from one American on a mission to save U.S. citizens who are trapped in the country.
We return.
We first met Brian Stern at O'Hare last September.
It's really emotional.
He had just evacuated more than 100 people from Afghanistan after the withdrawal of U.S. troops left the country in chaos.
They were literally surrounded by the Taliban in Taliban-controlled Afghanistan and Taliban-controlled Kaya. And we got a plane on the ground, we got him in the air, got him to Abu Dhabi, and here we are.
Today, with smoke rising in war-torn Ukraine, Stern is remembering that day.
When we were doing our first big operation with Dynamo, we did land in Chicago with like 100 and something people. So I'm a big fan of Chicago because you guys took care of us.
Now he and his team at the crisis rescue operation Project Dynamo are doing the same work in Ukraine, trying to help American citizens get to safety. This is video he recorded in Kyiv when it came under assault this week.
The city is under attack, so that sucks. Hopefully everything goes well tomorrow. We survive this night.
Stern is a U.S. Army and Navy veteran, a retired lieutenant commander, and a Purple Heart recipient. He knows he has an unusual ability to stay calm when surrounded by chaos.
I would say it's war. I mean, you know, we're soldiers. If the soldiers are panicking, then what are the civilians doing?
Through several tours of duty in Iraq and Afghanistan, he says he developed a special skill set.
I knew that I could help, and I knew that if I put a crew together and a team together, that we would, with the right people, that we'd be able to have an impact.
Bus number 2.
So far in Ukraine, he's rescued at least 6 busloads of Americans, making the treacherous 18-hour trek from Kyiv to the Romanian border, navigating not only bombs, but also challenges like fuel and food, and ultimately delivering the people to safety.
When safety is at issue and life is at issue and war is at issue, normal people need help. They need help from people who know how to do these sort of things.
The State Department has told Americans that it will not come to rescue them from Ukraine. The State Department also told them to evacuate more than a month ago. But there are still some 23,000 Americans in Ukraine.
We're not trying to rescue the whole world. Certainly not, but there are a lot of people that ask for help.
Project Dynamo has received more than 2,000 requests for evacuation. It's all funded by donations and fueled by a man whose experience in war is helping others find peace.
War is a terrible, horrible thing where really nobody ever wins. And the people that pay the most are the people not fighting it. Those are the ones that always pay the dearest price.
And he says he can fit about 20 people per bus. Anyone in need of help must apply on the Project Dynamo website. It's all funded, as we said, through donations. And if you'd like more information or would like to help, we have a link to Project Dynamo on our website, WGNTV.com. Back to you.
That is heroism right there.
Indeed. Very tough work.
Thank you. We'll show support.